Hi everyone, it's Andy from Hobby Headquarters. Due to the phenomenal growth my channel has experienced over the last few months, I've been receiving hundreds of comments and questions. Now I do read all of the comments and questions, but due to lack of time from running the store, building model kits, things like that, I don't always have time to answer all of them. So I thought I would take this opportunity to answer the most common questions today. The number one question I probably get the most is what type of airbrush do I use? And I use an Iwata HPC airbrush. It's a gravity-fed brush. It's got a 0.35 needle and tip on it. I like the gravity-fed brushes a lot because on lower pressures, if you want real fine work, you can put just a couple of drops right into the top there and the paint flows right in, so low pressure works really well. I also have a quick disconnect attached to the bottom of this. And this is a very, very useful tool, especially when you're doing a little airbrushing, you want to get it right over to the sink to start cleaning it out, pops it right on and off. So really love the Iwata product, does a very, very good job. Actually have another HPB airbrush as well. That one's for some fine work, but this is the workhorse. This is the one you see most of the time on all my videos. And to go along with the airbrush, my compressor, I have a kind of a generic 1/8 horsepower compressor. I do have a tank on it and a moisture trapping regulator. One of the nice things about having a tank on a compressor is a compressor is going to have a diaphragm in here that's going to be spitting the air out. With the tank on it there, it stops the pulsing in the line, so you don't get any a little bit of air and then back and forth like that. So it's a much smoother operation having a tank on it. Also too, although I live in Arizona where it's dry, when we do get the monsoons, it's really good having a moisture trap built up on here. That way it'll collect any water. Nothing worse than you'll be airbrushing for a little while, and without the moisture trap, some water can build up in there and then it'll suddenly spit out and mess up whatever you're doing. And then when it comes to airbrushing, I usually, for Tamiya paints, I usually keep it around 22 pounds for Tamiya paints after I've thinned them down. Now I have been using Vallejo more and more, and those I found that it's a little less air pressure, usually about 16 to 18 pounds, just depending on how it's flowing and how much thinner I put inside of it. And also another nice feature about when you're getting a compressor, having an on and off switch. This is a minor little thing, but my old compressor before this one, the only way you turned it off was by unplugging it, which is sometimes a pain if you're holding an airbrush full of paint. The next question I get quite often too is what type of cement I use, and I absolutely love Tamiya's extra thin cement. Because it is so thin, it flows really, really well into little areas. It softens and melts plastic almost immediately. You do get a little very fine point paintbrush inside of it for applying it. Works really good. If you're going to do bigger areas, it's sometimes better to get a little bigger paintbrush. It does a very good job on that. And when it comes to gluing photo etch or resin pieces, I like using the cyanacrylate glues, the CA glues. I use the Great Plains brand because that's one that I carry here in my store. It's a good value for the type of product you get. I prefer the medium gap filling, and what that is that's just a little bit thicker in the bottle, and it doesn't want to have a tendency to run all over the place like the thin sometimes can. And when it runs all over the place, you end up gluing your fingers together quicker than any of the other parts. So that's a really good product right there. I also recommend too, when you're doing the CA glue, is if you can find these really fine point applicators, they will plug right onto the top of the bottle here. You just put those on and you can put the smallest little drop of CA anywhere you exactly want. And you don't even have to remove the tip here. A little bit of the glue will dry right on the very end and you just nip it off with your nippers and you're ready to go again. So works very, very well. Like I said, especially if you're doing a lot of photo etch or resin parts. Although I do have another video that goes into much more depth about thinning Tamiya paint, I thought I'd give you guys a quick overview on it. I'll also post a link in the description area where you can go and watch the other video that I made. Right inside the bottle, there's a little bump right about there. And what I like to do is when I get a brand new bottle, which this is, of NATO Black, I will take Tamiya's X20, excuse me, thinner, and fill it right to that lip right there. And by doing that, I find with my airbrush that the entire bottle is ready to airbrush with it. So I'll fill it in here, and you can see right about there is where I'll fill it. Now you're going to have to shake it up quite a bit, but I find for my Awada HPC airbrush and with the 22 pounds of pressure, does a very, very good job just the way it is. This is another quick one. I've actually got quite a few comments on this last video that just came out about the tarps and how to make them. I use Kneadatite blue and yellow epoxy putty, and this is an A and B putty that comes on a strip. Just pop this open right here, and what you do is you just need to cut off the amount you want straight across, it's equal, and then just start blending it together. You've got a couple hours before this stuff gets rock hard, but you can roll it out, stretch it into different shapes. You can make backpacks, you know, tarps, all kinds of stuff with it. Very good product. You do have to use quite a bit of water when you're working with, especially on your hands or on the cutting board, because it really has a tendency to want to stick to a lot of things. Now, I've also done a few videos in the past too with Steve from Value Gear, and he showed how he was making packs and things out of this stuff, which I'll also put a link down in the description if you want to see a more in-depth type look at how to make the tarps. Also want to give you guys a quick little overview of my hobby store. I get that question quite a bit too. You want to see inside here. It'll be a real quick one. This is my discount area right in here. This is because I buy collections of unbuilt models all the time. We always have them there. The reference area with all of our books. Down in here is the main area where I keep most of my built models, although I have been selling quite a few of those lately, so that area is getting a little small, which is good because I'm building so much lately. Easily fills it back up. Over in here we've got all of our Vallejo products, from the washes, the pigments, metal colors, the weathering effects. My Vallejo paint rack, I'm actually going to be getting rid of that one and bringing in Vallejo Air. That's why that one's running down. That one should be in very soon. Over down in here we have all of our armor kits going all the way from top to bottom, all the way to the back. The very back is sci-fi. Over and through here we have all of our airplane kits. Then over on this side, tools, more paint all the way down from testers, Model Master, the acrylics, all of the Tamiya products down at the end. Ships are all the very back, and this is all of our wall of cars over and through here. One of the other questions that I get quite oftenly is people asking me to recommend kits, whether it be what type's the easiest to build, what type of is going to be good for a beginner, someone who's been working on models for a while. I personally enjoy building, but I really enjoy the painting and weathering. That's my favorite part of the model kit. So the quicker I can get done with the build portion of it, as long as it's not too ridiculous number of parts, I'm all for it, so I can get to the painting. Now, Tamiya makes very high quality product. Their engineering is very good. The fit is excellent. Academy is also the same way. Both of those companies right there make very good quality kits, and the part counts are usually on the smaller side. So you're not spending so many days working on, just to build the interior, things like that. Some of the other companies, they make excellent product. Pretty much anybody in this day and age, if the kit's been from 10 years or newer, it's going to be top quality. I mean, there would be some of the fits off or anything like that, but the engineering is usually done pretty well. Takom, Dragon, Ming, Trumpeter, companies like that, they make very good quality kits. The problem is, for me, is that they a lot of times have a lot of parts in it. Sometimes you'll be dealing with an armor kit that is 1,000 to 1,200 parts. And when you're dealing with a kit that has that many parts to it, it can sometimes delay the number of kits that I can produce to show you. And I assume most of the people are watching the channel to see actually, painting and detailing and things like that. I do give, obviously, tips on the build itself to tell you if there's a problem or something you need to be on the watch out for. But things like that, I would still recommend. These are great that if you're looking for a long-term project, but you want more interior detail, like the Takom King Tiger, what you watched me build. You saw how many parts were inside of that kit, and that kit took me probably about 2 weeks to produce the entire model, whereas an Academy or a Tamiya kit, 2 or 3 days of actual build time. Painting and weathering take a little bit longer than that as well. So overall, most of the kits that come out on the market today are very, very good quality. It's just a matter of what you're looking for. If you're looking for a project that's going to take the average modeler 2 to 3, 4 weeks, or something that you can put together in a couple hours a night in, you know, over the course of a week, and then get to the painting weather like the way I'd like to, that's my recommendation. The Tamiya and Academy are excellent if you want something quick, and these if you want some more of a long-term project. Now, Dragon and Trumpeter also produce a lot of kits that nobody else does. So if you're looking for like modern Russian armor, Trumpeter has made just about every Russian vehicle known to man. So if you're looking for it, they're great. In fact, I will be doing a few of those in the next coming months as well. I have someone who's actually built some of them, but will show off how to do the paint jobs on them. So yeah, in a nutshell, that's what I think on recommending kits. So I hope I was able to answer some of the basic questions that most of you have for me. So please stay tuned because we have many more build videos coming.